Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here, and it's time for the full moon. Is coming in on the 15th, so it's almost here. And for those who are wanting to work through the moon seasons with this Seasons of the Witch workbook, I'm just posting my video a day early for the UK for the full moon. We're due on the 15th. I can't remember what time exactly, usually around the morning for us. So I'm just helping give you some inspiration to get you all going with the full moon energies. Now, I use the full moons to release, and I'm aware that some of you will use a new moon to release. So it depends on where you are in your moon cycle, if you want to call it that, and phase, as to whether this prompt is ready for you now, or if it's something that you've got still plenty of time to work towards. So I started this on a new moon, because new moons for me are for starting things. And then here we are on prompt 3 for a release. And we've still got plenty to keep us going between now and Christmas or end of January, if you want to take it through to that far. Trust me. So thank you to everyone who's been joining in. There have been some fantastic videos. I will put the playlist below, and I'm just adding people as I find you into my playlist. And we have got people using journals, we've got people using the paper PDF format of this, and we have got one new person to the community. Tom, can't remember your channel name, but if you look for the playlist, they'll be in there, and they are using their phone. And I have looked online, and apparently Note Shelf that I use on my Samsung tablet, you can put on your phone. You do need to have, obviously you need to have storage space on your phone, because these are quite large PDFs that we download from the Ko-fi shops for the digital journals. And then you can sync them, is my understanding, between your apps via a Google account service, and you can work between devices, much like the note, what's it called? Hang on, sorry. What do I use this one? So I use this Google Notes. So that one syncs between, where was I? That one syncs between devices. And then I have a few of you who I'm aware that do not do digital journaling and have joined the Facebook group, and this PDF version is available for you to download. So it's a 4-page A4 that you can download with one for colouring in and a list for your decks and things that you've used. So there's 2 ways that you can access this. And as I said, this one will be available for you to access up until probably end of January, and then it will be removed. And for those of you who have tried to access my 2023 version of this in all my old videos, I'm afraid those links no longer work because I've updated it. This is the new one that we're working with at the moment. And the same thing will happen as we get towards 2025. These ones will be removed in order to have the most up-to-date current one available for people to use. So I'm sorry if that's caused anyone some distress. That's why you can't get access to it, so I do apologise. So here we are on my digital journal. So we have done front door. So just quickly, briefly, front door, I put my cards in, and I used a new moon spread and did my answers here, pulled some extra cards, and then did what I ended up doing was dark journaling instead of turning it into smart targets. So I'm still working through this one, and I will probably use this through to the next new moon. And I have put on here all the things that are like giving me issue in here, and I've turned all the text black so you can't really read it very well on purpose. And then I will put a second text box over the top of this, and I'll do it in a pink or some other colour, or doodle over it, draw over it to, I've been using the word transmute, to transform, to change, to alter the energy that's now in this page into something much better, something that I feel fits me better than this, because this isn't and hasn't been something I've really needed to do much of at all in my spiritual journey. So it's quite unusual that I felt the need to do this. And also I thought it was great that I've even acknowledged the fact that I've done it, but I wanted to share that with you all. The magpie prompt number 2, so that was the last one that I did. So here we have the spread that was out here. This one also turned out to be quite a insightful spread, and I think everyone who's joined in with this one found the same thing. Now, I don't know if it's the planetary alignments right now, the moon, or what's going on, But it was just really interesting to hear everyone else struggle with it. It shouldn't have been quite as deep or as much of a struggle as it was, but it seems like the cards for everyone that has done so far, they've tapped into something. I've had, people message me saying they've been called out in their spread, and even they're finding it amusing, something they wouldn't normally have either. So that's been really cool for me to see and to feel and to express and witness along with everyone else. So I don't feel alone and they're not feeling alone. We know that we're all being called out at the same time, but for different things, different parts of our psyche and personality. And with that one, we did the how-to suggestion of making a dream catcher to collect your energies, your negative energies. Or we'll call it a dream catcher. You could call it an energy catcher if you wanted to. And I showed one of the dream catchers that I keep and talked through how I add things to it sometimes if I want to do anything special with it. And then we had, is it Misty? Mystical Musings? Mystical Misty? She showed her dream catcher and she took some of the ideas that I had done and she had embellished her dream catcher with some beautiful charms and things to make it more hers. And in a way, that dream catcher, the energy catcher, the energy changer, becomes almost like witch's bells in some way, or witch's ladder. It's a beautiful thing to see. So I do advise you, like I say, if you've got time to go through what's there in the playlist so far. That was gorgeous. And people who have created affirmations instead have come up with some lovely words and poetry. I'm calling it poetry. It felt like poetry. Some of them felt like poetry. And there's been some beautiful I ams affirmations. I don't, here we go. I'm not giving myself an affirmation, but I don't usually do an I am. I'm not a I am person, but I am somebody who will take like this, be confident in your decisions, celebrate the wins. Yeah, I could turn that into I am confident in my decisions. I celebrate my wins in life. But I don't know, I can't explain it. It just feels a bit egocentric for me to turn that one into that sort of aggressive way of talking. So I'm trying to be more gentle in my approaches. So here we go. We're onto the woodshed. And we have there's a shadow spread here. What is lurking in the shadow? Why is it still there? How can I bring this to light? How does this affect me? And advice from spirit or guide. Now, the point to this is, for me, how it's been set, is that then I will write a release letter to burn at the full moon. And as I'm into the full moon energy, this is why I'm doing it today. And I'm on when you release something, for those who aren't aware, when you release something, you need to ask for something to fill its space. Otherwise, more stuff goes into that negative void. So if you release stuff that's been really bugging you, you want to fill it with love, protection, harmony, health, wealth, well-being, something for you. So that's why I've just popped that there for people who aren't as aware of the energy exchange that comes in. So with my woodshed, really, so what we're doing is what dead wood needs to be cut loose. So then you've got your releasing down here. So I'm going to do the shadow spread. We can see what dead wood needs to be cut loose. Why can't I say that? And then we can I can talk you through a bit about how I might release. So obviously these bits are more personal, and in this case, again, I'm not going to show you my letter of release to something, but I will talk you through how I do it, what my ritual might be in the moment when I'm doing this sort of stuff. So I hope that's okay. Whether I do it in this video, I might talk you through this video and then show you, I might do a short just to show you the stuff that I'll use, because I haven't actually brought any of that in with me. So that's probably a really good way of doing it. Right, goodness me, 8 minutes in. So let's go. We're going to do the woodshed. And I'm going to try out the Road to Equilibrium deck that's new in from Kickstarter. It's not an AI deck. We had the Tower of Transcendence, which is like part 1 of the journey of the soul, I believe. And then the Road to Equilibrium, purposely weird cards to provoke us. There it is. I knew I'd put something in here to separate. So I separated out the cards that I didn't want in my deck, and then I put the ones in my deck. So you can already see what's going on here. It's a bit unusual. So I'm just going to shuffle these up. So I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, so what is lurking in the shadow? Oops, just want the wrong card really, but we've got 3. So 5 of Thoughts, 8 of Desires, 10 of Desires. What is lurking in the shadows? The images are quite provocative here, aren't they? Why is it still there? Why is this still there? Why is this message that I'm trying to shed myself off still there? The Empress. Well, this is going to be a very dark read, isn't it? How can I bring this to light? How can I bring this issue to light? Three of materials. Okay, teamwork. There's something positive in my spread. How does this affect me? Someone wants them out. Seven of flows. Fractures my being, look. Okay. Now, I'm thinking of two ways of doing this. Oh, that's interesting. King of Desires is on the bottom of that final shuffle, although I still have question 5 to go. So part 1 of how I want to do this was the first deck I was going to use, which the Hush Tarot is the one I normally use for my shadow spreads, shadow work. It's the only one, and because I love the book. So I'm just going to see if the book matches anything down here, because this is a very specific deck. So I'm just going to see this first. So 5 of Thoughts. So 5 of Air. So we've got, here's why. You're going to like this. So it's not reversed. But what does reverse say? Reverse says resolution. We've definitely not got resolution here. So 5 of Swords, conflict, selfishness. Your winnings are many, but they come choked with the weeds of tension and hostility. While there are blooms, there is also the invasive nature that spreads and ruins everything around it. Be wary of your attitude with others at this time of seeming success. The 8 of Desires. So let's see what 8 of Wands says for itself. So hopefully you can see why I like this book from this deck. Direction, confusion has direction. Confusion has subsided and your vision is back on track. The ideas and opinions of the flock are no longer in the way. So there's a conflicting issue right there. And confusion, that's right, there it is, isn't it? So it has to be in the way because it's just said it's in the way there. Now you're saying it's not in the way. Eye-catching red plumage. No, don't worry about that. That's for that one. Your will has set you apart from the crowd for the 8 of Desires. And then 10 of Desires. Responsibility. The road has been a long one. You have taken on so much and accomplished great things. All of this comes with the heavy burden of having to maintain it. Do not be afraid to delegate and entrust work to others. The Insect Kingdom. No, don't need to worry about that. That goes with that deck specifically. Okay. Well, that's quite heavy, isn't it? So what is lurking in the shadow? When we come back to the words of the 5. Conflict, selfishness. Okay. So there's a selfishness in my desires sometimes. Yeah, that's true, because, why else would I desire something if it wasn't because I wanted something from it? That could be down to gifts, somebody's time, somebody's attention. It's selfish in nature at the end of the day, isn't it? When I'm accomplishing jobs at work, it's because I want something out of it. I want to be recognised, not because I want oh, you're so amazing. I just want somebody to note that I've done a good job for a change rather than not. When I'm doing something and I'm not doing it by the book and then I'm being questioned, I am short. I am to the point about why I've done it that way. I do have a my way or the highway type attitude sometimes. That can be a bit selfish. I don't always see how other people are able to do things, and that is a problem of me, not them. Or is it them? Is it because they haven't been able to teach me the rationale behind what they're thinking or inform me of that? So therefore, if I can't have the rationale and I can't think behind it, how am I supposed to be able to think with it? I can't always do that without the insight first, because my brain will run off in 20 different directions. So what is lurking in the shadow then? Okay, so that's where we're at the moment for that. And I'm going to have to come back and unpick this via the video, to be perfectly honest with you. That I already know. So why is it still there? Why is it there? The Empress. So that's like that need to harness, to nurture, isn't it? Nature even. I'm going to go with nurture. The Empress is Mother Earth, the embodiment of the natural world. The card hints at lessons. Fertility, nature, and abundance are just part of the story. All is needed for life to endure this circle. The Empress may be a sign for a new start, such as a creative endeavour. Learn a new art form. Shape challenges in your day. Create a new path for your way of thinking. Okay, well, we do have the thoughts and a kind of pathway thing happening here, haven't we? Why is it still there? Because I have failed to create the pathway. Maybe I've failed to create the pathway that I needed to get out of this energy that's stuck in my shadow. Let's see what the Three of Pentacles says. How can I bring this to light? I already feel like that's here, like this platform right now, sharing with you and then listening to what you see in my spread and sharing it back at me. Collaboration and learning. Like the Cardinal, you have a strong voice, your direction is clear, and you are secure enough in your beliefs to take advice and criticism from others. An outside view can lead to new ideas. Exactly that. An outside view can lead to new ideas. That is how I can bring it to light. So, I do ask you, therefore, whatever you see here, can you comment below? Keep it gentle. After all, this is a shadow spread for me to release with the moon. Yeah, obviously keep it light, and I will take it on board. Thank you. This is where you're coming in. So how does this affect me with 4, 7 flows? So this one I've said, when I saw this one, it's almost like the choices we make are fragments of whom we are. So by having to make so many choices, it fragments who we are. We can't just do everything in a one-er as a person. It's parts of us. So this is work, this is home, this is family, this is a relationship with our brother or our sister, this is our mother, this is us. One of these might be our partner, our pets, our community around us, our neighbour. So many fragments that get broken up that pull us in different directions, because everything needs its own decision or its own way of being or working, and that makes us not a whole always. So I feel like that can be how it can affect me, is I don't feel like I'm whole. But just out of interest, I want to know what Cups says in this deck, 7 of Cups. So imagination and possibility. The dreamer is swept away in a deluge of illusions and ideas. So many projects, so little time. Prioritise what can be accomplished and what is out of reach. In reverse, we have chaos and indecision with overwhelmed, and so much you're finding it difficult to move forwards. Right, and then I'm going to have a quick look through the guidebook to see what this has. Now, bear with me because I've got to scroll up and down for this. It's a pain. Right, so we go through desires. Let's just quickly read the 8 of desires while I'm here. 8 of desires. The fire is spreading outward, hot and strong. Confidence inside us is escaping through our mouth. It helps us express ourselves in the best way it can. Be careful for the unwanted words to jump out without any control. So that goes with that, doesn't it? It goes with what I said about that one. I prefer that. Okay, maybe this is my shadow work deck. I like that. Be careful for the unwanted words to jump out without control. Let's go and check that 5 of thoughts and 10 of desires. 10 of desires. The burdens of desire are not on our shoulders. They are penetrating us and becoming one with us. We feel them trying to burst out through our skin or guts or eyes and mouth. They make the heart beat faster. They make frustration boiling worse. But we can't help but carry it all in because eventually it brings us all kinds of feeling to keep our engines going. Did that make sense to anyone? They make the frustration boiling worse. But we can't help but to carry it all in because eventually it brings us all kinds of feeling to keep our engines going. No, sorry, I don't understand that. That genuinely doesn't make sense to me. The burdens of desire are not on our shoulders. They are penetrating us and becoming one with us. Okay. Let's find the thoughts. Thoughts, here we go. 5 of thoughts. The words in anger are the ones that tore us apart. Now we are dealing with a loss, and there is only us alone in our isolation, defeated and still being attacked by the aftermath. Peace in the mind is still lost somewhere. The 5 of thoughts. Wow, that's a lot to merge together then, isn't it? I'm going to go with, obviously, the words and the expression, the thoughts behind what's going on causes that hot-headed release. So, although this isn't sharp tongue, it's clearly a forked tongue, I would say. So whatever's causing this pain creates a forked tongue in a lot of circumstances. Which maybe burns, but not in a good way. Expresses not in the best way possible, because we're going this way. Usually we go this way for forwards, don't we? And the fact that it's not gone on my shoulders, it's internalized. So that's never healthy, is it? Internalizing these problems is not good for you. So that's lurking in my shadow. So I'm still internalizing problems, issues, thoughts, negativity. Maybe this is me chuntering. You know when you have that thing, somebody speaks to you in such a way you don't know how to respond, you don't say anything, and you walk away, and then later on it's going round in your head. Come on, people, I know you're with me on this. It's going round and round in your head because it's still eating at you. It irks you, and you're at home and you're cooking, or you're watching the TV, or you're about to go to bed, or you're asleep even, and then suddenly that moment of, damn, why didn't I say that? That was the perfect, like, there it is, the comeback. That would have put them in their place. That I think that is what maybe this is, and I don't know how I word that. But I think that's what this is. This is my issue of internalizing stuff that happens and not being able to say it well, and they're therefore becoming defensive. And when I do speak to somebody in that moment of confrontation, and then just firing out like words I don't actually mean, which annoys me a lot. That annoys me more than anything else, because I think I talked in the last one about eating humble pie, and there are areas where I don't want to eat humble pie because I shouldn't have to, because I should have had myself composed and in a better place, and it wouldn't have been a time or place or space that this should have occurred. Okay, that's deep. That is very deep. Why is it still there for the Empress? Yeah, I definitely want to know what she's got to say for herself. No, I think this is a poem. So, mother of all, love for all, nurtures you all. She is, her love overflows, it overgrows, covers all beings, these bonding strengths. Why is it still there? I must be allowing it to grow then. Oh, damn. Maybe there's cords. Maybe someone's left some cords and hooks in me to those problems, or they've not left them, I've left them. Maybe I've allowed something to attach to me and I need to blimmin' well cut them off. Right, let me see. 3 of materials. So how can I bring it to light? This one. 3 of materials. The combination of 3 is always a combination that makes us a higher place, takes us to a higher place. It starts with 2 separate individuals, yeah, complementary to one another, complete what we are missing on our path to success, but along the way, there must be an addition of another element, a conductor, which its eyes can see it all from the mistakes to how we can work things out. If this element is too weak, the whole system will fail and we'll go back to 0. How can I bring this to light? So yeah, okay, so the third person helping me to see in different directions, different viewpoint, different way. A bit like the Hanged Man energy in many aspects. However, this is about keeping it healthier, isn't it? With the materials being part of that. Keeping the mind, body, soul healthy. And then let's look at how does this affect me for the 7 of flows? Seven of flows. The paths that divide us into pieces are the choices we have yet to choose. So we simply go with each one of them at a time to see which would be the one. Our flow is now running through the choices that are now attached to us, that tie us to our own decisions. Where is the heart at? So fragmented, as I said. Did we choose to get a hold on it all just because we like the feeling of being surrounded by options, or simply because we are too confused by our own ambition to go after one? Now there's a good question. That's another prompt for another day, isn't it? Did we choose to get a hold on it? Did we choose to get a hold on our heart? Or is it just that we like the feeling of being surrounded by options? I have to admit, I am an options kind of gal. I do like lots of options around me. Does that make me too confused by my own ambition? Maybe it's because I don't really know directly where I want to go. That's why I have so many options. So I like the options open so I can fly anywhere. So I can be flighty, so I can shoot off. And the King of Desires at the bottom. Let's just see what a King of Desires holds in their energy. So behind the witty look on his face lies a person who has a vision for a long run. Don't underestimate him and all the things inside his head. He has already gone too far from where you are standing. Well, I think you can see this one's got me a pondering. What are you all thinking? I could probably forget that I'm actually recording and just keep sitting here pondering and wondering and going deeper. Do I have any oracle cards that is going to match the energy of this spread around me is the question. I'm not sure, so I'm going to try out the zombie tarot from Dragorshi. So, advice from spirit or guide. This is the advice from spirit or guide. I must have a better spiritual guide deck than this around. No offense, Orshi. I love this deck, but I don't know if this is going to give me, let's see, advice from spirit or guide. Real peace. I'm lying. That's pretty good. Advice from spiritual guides suggesting real peace. And look at that, there is actually a moon in this and we've got a pathway. Now, is that a new moon or a full moon? It seems pretty illuminated, so to me that's a full moon. Real peace. That is almost telling me to do the release on this full moon in the next couple of days. Okay. I've got a lot to get off this video and into my journal. So, oh, look at the bottom of the deck. Clarity. Starting over. Gratitude, that's where I want to finish. I think that makes it fairly clear. I think that tells me. So there's my message from Spirit Guide. Real peace, clarity, nature, starting over, gratitude. So as I said at the start, is releasing what I need to get rid of, turning it into something to bring in. So I think I need to bring in, I think I'm going to have to, whatever I bring in is going to have to focus around this 7 of Cups, isn't it, as I bring it in. I probably need a bit more clarity about my kind of desires, my choices, like what it said, where is my heart in all of this? I'm gonna have to, I've always been a fan of not being in my heart and being in my head. Maybe I have to start doing the other now. I have to start being a human with feelings instead of a human with thoughts. Oh, this is going to challenge me. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. For the next bit, what happens is I simply write about what it is I'm releasing onto a piece of paper, and that is a private journaling session. It goes onto a piece of paper and then I fold it away from me. So I'll fold it into, in fact, if we take this, so if I could even use this. So I could use this beautiful piece of tissue paper because it's got lovely pictures on it. And I could write on here in a pencil or a medium that will allow me to write on here. So I could journal onto this how I want to release, or what I want to release, not necessarily how, but why I want to release it, what I want to release, and then what I want to bring into its place. So based on what I'm releasing will generally reflect what I want to bring in. So if I'm releasing emotion that isn't fitting me, that's causing me harm, that's causing me to internalize and to spit out fire rather than love or direction or thought or prosperity or nurturing to others, then that's what I want to bring back in. So I'm spitting it out, I'm getting it out of my system in order to welcome the ability to nurture, to love, to be cohesive, to see the perspective of what I need to see, to be clearer in my day-to-day workings, my being, my intentions with others. So once that's all on here, I would fold, I know I want it to come to me, but I kind of don't. So I would fold it, I tend to fold it away from me. I'm never really bothered whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, but I would fold it like this. And then I have some oils. So I have some sage oil or rosemary oil and rosemary leaves and some rose petals. And sometimes I will pop some rose petals and some sprinkled bits of rosemary into the folds of my paper. And I will sprinkle some oil onto there as well, and maybe some rose oil as well, for love, for femininity, for grounding, for earth. And then a little 20-minute burning candle or a tea light. Obviously, I need to let that tea light burn out completely, is how I feel when I'm doing something this deep. And then I would take it out into the garden and I would set fire to this whilst holding it with a pair of tweezers. So I'd hold a pair of tweezers here, and I'd set fire to it in the garden and allow it to burn and be taken away with the light breeze that comes by. And then I'll obviously stand for a moment with peace, thank the moon, absorb some moon energy, maybe pop some water out to be blessed under the moon as well, and bid my adieu and go to sleep. Right. There's more than I bargained for in today's spread. I will try and do a short just to show you the bits and bobs that I will collect to do this as well. And hopefully you'll be okay seeing part 2, which I will link at some point. It'll be in the next 3 days I do part 2. It might be today or it might be Saturday, because today's Thursday, so it might be Saturday before I get to it. And that's okay, because as I say, I work 3 days before or 3 days after the actual moon with the energy, so I'm happy that it won't be exactly tomorrow. Right, show me what you got. Until the next one, take care, bye-bye.